下接过啦。
嚟睇嘅滾住睇過啦。
哇！就好險咯！哇！用啊！我唔嚟講，嗰邊
你嘅起
你咁老登嘅都咁麻煩。
你嘅行是起的啦。
Super Typhoon Bualoi, one of the strongest storms of the 2025 Pacific typhoon season, made landfall in southern China on the evening of September 28th. The typhoon brought winds reaching speeds of up to 220 km/h with even stronger gusts. Before hitting China, Bualoi had already caused severe damage in Guangdong, Hainan, Guangxi, and the northern provinces of the Philippines, leading to floods, loss of life, property damage, and the displacement of millions of people. When Bualoi made landfall in Xiamen, part of Yangjiang City, Guangdong Province, local authorities launched one of the largest evacuation campaigns in history. The Chinese Emergency Management Agency reported that nearly 1.9 million residents in Guangdong Province were evacuated from high-risk areas ahead of the typhoon. In Shenzhen, a city with over 17 million people, around 400,000 residents were relocated from coastal areas and older buildings vulnerable to strong winds and flooding. Authorities suspended public transport services, including ferries, flights, and trains, severely disrupting daily life in the region. According to the National Marine Environmental Forecasting Center, waves between 4 and 7 meters hit the Guangdong coast, while some waves in the South China Sea reached up to 13 meters. Authorities issued a red alert for storm surges, warning that sea levels could rise up to 2.8 meters, creating a high risk of flooding. Seawater inundated roads in Zhuhai, near Macau, prompting the authorities to cut electricity in some areas to prevent electrical hazards. In Shenzhen, although advanced infrastructure helped reduce some damage, strong winds broke windows in high-rise buildings and scattered debris across streets. Residents in tall buildings were instructed to move to lower floors or safer structures. More than 38,000 rescue personnel, including firefighters, medical staff, and search and rescue teams, were deployed to assist the population. Heavy rainfall from Bualoi also triggered flash floods and landslides. Many rural areas experienced disruption to water and power systems. Utilities deployed thousands of technicians to restore electricity to critical facilities, including hospitals, fire stations, and relief centers. Despite weakening after reaching land, the typhoon's heavy rains and flooding continued to threaten southern China in the following days. By September 29th, authorities had set up evacuation centers, provided food, drinking water, and medical assistance to hundreds of thousands of residents. Although official damage figures had not yet been released, the timely evacuations helped minimize casualties compared to similar storms in the past. However, recovery efforts, including rebuilding homes, restoring transportation, and reviving economic activities, were expected to take weeks or even months. Bualoi highlighted the unpredictable destructive power of extreme weather and served as a warning for the urgent need to enhance community resilience to increasingly severe natural disasters. Experts emphasized that critical infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and power systems remain highly vulnerable, and disaster preparedness in remote towns must be significantly strengthened to ensure timely evacuation and delivery of relief supplies. This requires a long-term strategy and investment in more resilient infrastructure to withstand extreme weather events. Thank you for following the Extreme Weather program, where we analyze the most severe natural phenomena. If you found this video useful, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue producing content. Hit the bell to never miss an update. Stay informed and stay safe.
The disaster has underscored the vulnerability of densely populated coastal regions to extreme weather events, and the world continues to monitor the situation closely, offering support and solidarity to the people.
Imagine a land of soaring mountains, plunging valleys, and a cultural mosaic as diverse as the landscapes themselves. This is Yunnan Province, one of China's most breathtaking regions, a place where rivers carve their way through rugged gorges before spilling into fertile plains. But beneath this natural beauty lies vulnerability. The same rivers that nourish fields and sustain communities can, with little warning, transform into torrents of destruction when nature unleashes its full power. Here, flooding is not just a seasonal inconvenience, it is a recurring trial, one that tests both the resilience of communities and the limits of human engineering. Yunnan's hydrological network is intricate. Multiple rivers crisscross the province, converging and then flowing outward to other nations. Rainfall is driven by unpredictable monsoon patterns, sometimes lasting days, turning the sky into a ceaseless cascade of water. When precipitation is heavier than usual, Mountain ridges are cloaked in thick clouds, releasing sheets of rain that saturate the soil far beyond its capacity. Once the ground reaches its limit, the water has nowhere else to go. Runoff rushes down steep slopes, feeding already swollen rivers with unstoppable force. Under these conditions, dams become both guardians and potential threats. They regulate river flow, store precious water for farming, generate hydroelectric power, and shield communities from surging floods. But dams are not invincible. Extreme inflows push against their walls, test their spillways, and strain their foundations. When water rises faster than gates can release, pressure builds. Hidden weaknesses, aging concrete, eroded embankments, or worn mechanical systems may suddenly fail. And when a dam breaches, the result is not a slow, creeping flood. It is an explosive release, millions of tons of water unleashed within minutes.
现在口都口难饿的哦，唔得口完哟，都开始冲饿哟，冲垮哟，全部拉差足球哦，桥都被大水冲垮了。
The wave that follows strips topsoil from the land, flattens forests, sweeps away bridges, cars, and homes. In Yunnan's narrow valleys, these flood surges accelerate with terrifying speed, leaving residents with little or no time to escape. Survival hinges on the effectiveness of early warning systems and on how fast people can react when alarms are sounded. But water is not the only threat. Heavy rains often destabilize Yunnan's steep slopes, triggering massive landslides. These landslides can block rivers, forming unstable natural dams of loose rock and mud. For a moment, it seems the flood has been contained, but when such natural dams give way, they unleash secondary floods, cascading destruction downstream in a deadly chain reaction. What begins as a single disaster transforms into a multi-stage emergency. For the people caught in its path, the human cost is immense. Farmers watch helplessly as entire fields vanish under silt, mud, and boulders. Families lose not just homes, but heirlooms, livestock, and the fragile sense of security that defines daily life. Remote villages, often connected only by narrow mountain roads, may find themselves cut off completely, waiting days for rescue. Beyond the physical losses, the psychological toll is crushing. Fear of recurrence, uncertainty about rebuilding, and the haunting memory of nature's fury. Managing these dangers demands more than technology alone. Hydrological monitoring stations constantly measure rainfall, reservoir levels, and river flows. Drones and satellites scan mountain ridges for landslides. Engineers inspect dams, reinforcing weak points, repairing cracks, and upgrading systems. Communities, too, take part, practicing evacuation drills, mapping routes to higher ground, and ensuring that even the most remote households can receive alerts through radio or mobile networks. Yet despite all this effort, the challenge remains vast, because Yunnan's environment is one of extremes. Its climate shifts dramatically, from subtropical valleys where monsoon rains dominate, to high-altitude plateaus fed by snowmelt. Too much water brings catastrophic floods, too little, crippling drought. Climate change adds even greater uncertainty, eroding the reliability of traditional knowledge and weather patterns that generations once depended upon. Ultimately, Yunnan's battle with flooding and dam failures is a reminder of water's dual nature. It is the source of food, energy, and life. But it is also a force that reshapes landscapes overnight, a reminder that nature's generosity is matched only by its unpredictability. The people of this province live in a delicate relationship with their rivers. Vigilance, adaptation, and respect are constant necessities. Protecting lives and livelihoods here means never underestimating how swiftly water can shift from a giver of life to a destroyer of worlds. And so, the story of Yunnan is not just one of disaster, but of resilience. Families rebuild homes from rubble. Farmers search for new ways to protect crops. Communities strengthen ties, preparing together for the storms to come. It is a constant balancing act between nature's power and humanity's determination to endure. Thank you for staying with us through this deep exploration of Yunnan's struggle with floods and dam failures. If this story opened your eyes, please give it a thumbs up, share it to spread awareness, and subscribe so you won't miss future journeys into the ways people around the world adapt to our planet's changing forces. Until next time, stay safe, stay prepared, and never forget the power of water.
Nature doesn't send us warnings, but we can. Floods, earthquakes, wildfires, and storms are striking harder and faster than ever before. By subscribing, you are not just watching, you are joining a movement to stay alert, stay informed, and helps others to do the same. Hit the subscribe now because the next disaster won't wait, and neither should you. Be ready and be aware.